Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing and another phenomenal contribution to the channel by Kimber. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that. He's got several coins on his list that he wants: Revain coin, ZK Tube, Dapp, DAPPT, DIVI are coins that he would like requested, and Nord Financial that he would like on a daily basis. And he's come up with a number per month that he feels is appropriate to support the channel as a donation. And Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing approves of his donation and wholeheartedly appreciates his support of the channel and his contributions, right? And we're going to start off today with the daily update. Quick update on Revain. There's not a lot going on in it right now. We're going to go to the hour time frame since we've already established this coin. Right now, we're sort of in no man's land. We got our upper resistance at 0.013. Then you got your 200-day moving average at 0.01169. And that's short-term overhead resistance that can chop the price down just like it has several times in the past, the recent past, 1, 2, 3, and then more down there. It shoots the price down as you run up into the 200-day moving average. It forces you down, right? So we've seen that. So that's what we're watching out for in Revain. Do we pop up to the 200-day and then get chopped down to our underneath target where we may go? Or can we get on top of that 200-day, use it as support, and use that as a catapult to get up here to our upper resistance? That's what we're watching out for in this coin. You're going to go to the 200-day more than likely. And if you can break it, you can come up to the 0.0139. Major overhead resistance. If you get rejected, you're coming down to the 0.00933 in Revain, right? ZK Tube, our first look at this. Nope, we put this coin on yesterday, and you can see we're going to continue with the same track as we had yesterday. There's a moving average down there in the 3-hour time frame, the 200-day, and our major overhead resistance is at $76. If we can get up there and get over the 50-day moving average again, or if we keep getting rejected and we move out to the 3-hour time frame, or the 2-hour time frame, you can see there's the moving average right there. And that's what I'm afraid that we're stepping down to. Yesterday we were up here on the 50. Now we're on the 100, getting squeezed in between the 50 and the 100, right? As the 50 comes down, the 50 in red comes down like that. The 200 turns bearish, and then the 200 levels out. And I have a feeling we're stepping down, and this is where you're coming down to your next target. Then we can try to bounce up and get a little kickback. But that's what I would watch out for right now in Zika. Or ZK Tube is if you come down to $44.48, seems to be your next move. Any pump to the upside, this is your upper resistance at $76, but I think you're coming down here first to retest the 200-day moving average. Moving on to Dapp, DAPP. You can see this is our first time. Again, these coins don't have very much data. This one's got a little bit more. I don't know what's going on with this. Holy fuck. That's a disaster right there. So we're not even going to go that high because it doesn't help us out. The coins obviously had a phenomenal flush of epic proportions, right? So this is going to be a very difficult coin. What I would do here is your old high, I would just mark that right where we seem to come down back into some life form, right? Right here, you see that we got some old major support and resistance. We don't want it as a dotted line. We want this as a solid line, so we're going to put a line. And then we come back over, and you see it played significance there and played some significance there. And then if we go more into the local time frame, you can see right now what I would say is based off of this wacky chart, the way it is if you hold your support along your underneath support trend line, then you can remain bullish. If you're above this trend line and you stay above the 200-day moving average, right? So what I would watch out for in this coin right now, as this has obviously been struggling recently, is in the 4-hour or 3-hour time frame, you got to get above the 200-day moving average to get bullish. So you can see you're below the 200-day right now, so you're bearish, right? And if we had to look at it, you can see in the current time frame, the 200 days at 0.0045831. And as long as you're below that in the 3 or 4 hour time frame, you're bearish, right? And your first underneath target that I would look for would be some old support and resistance down here. As we start getting acquainted with this coin, we'll get more technical as the time goes on. But you can see you've had some major support and resistance there. That would be your first zone where I would say on a fall, where you're going to come down to would be probably more like this area right here. So if you can't get some support, I would say your first target to the downside to pay attention for potential bounce would be down here at 0.039613, right? You seem to be having some trouble staying over that 200-day moving average, so we'll keep an eye out on that. DIVI, you can see this is the first time we've looked at this coin, so we're going to zoom out, and this appears to be a new coin, not as crazy as the last one. So we'll be able to give you some good price targets on here. First, got to take the volume indicator, take a look at where it's going on. You can see most of the trading's towards the bottom. And then what I like to do is I like to grab a fib circle just to give me a baseline from a swing low, actually a swing low right here, to a swing high right there. And you can see what we got going on. And if you even wanted to take this back further, you could go back to the original swing low, which would be right there. And then you could say we come down to the candle bodies, which often are better. And you can see now we got something forming here. And you can see it looks like that upper ring has topped us out. And then if we put some more data onto here, we're going to lock that. We're going to put our lines onto here now. As we know, the volume indicators, conveniently enough, down there. And this appears to be a big rising channel, right? And since there's not a lot of there's not a lot of data to go off of, you can only go off the data that you have. And you can see right here, you've been in some kind of rising channel. We like to get on the candle bodies, right? And then you peaked up and you got rejected by this overhead blue ring up here. So we're going to put a price label on there because you were rejected right there. See that? You got harshly rejected. And now if we zoom on in, and that's why we always start from the far out time frame and work our way in for a super simple, easy way to trade this market. And now if we zoom on in here, you can see what appears to be happening is what I think you're going to do is you're going to start to cool off and you're going to trade back down, and you got to back test this major underneath support, the old rising channel that you broke out of at 12 cents. I think you have to back test 12 cents. And then it's going to be, do you take option 1, which is the back test, hold the 200-day and then pop up for a phenomenal continuation to the bull run? Or do we get back down in here and start trading within this descending triangle again, in which case you would have your major lower support way down here into the future sometime at 0.09 and change. So we're going to pay attention for that. Thank you to all my beautiful subscribers. Phenomenal updates to come later on today. Like, subscribe, and share for coin updates and requests that you want at your own price that you decide to support the channel in a donation. Peace and love. Peace and love.